issue 2 of the Koi Perspective. I'm here with Alan from Ezed Pond.
Right.
We've just done a quick walk around tour of the site, and I am impressed by the products. You've got a lot of tanks here.
Thank you.
Enough to stock probably the entire of the UK, I think. But no, I've obviously known about Ezed Pond from the time that I've been in the hobby, and I've seen some of the tanks that you've taken to shows before and been quite impressed. And so I thought it'd be nice to come down and show people what goes into a preformed pond, because it's not as easy as just putting some.
Some people think it's easy.
I bet they do. Yeah. But you've been doing it a while, so tell us about how you got into this business, how you started it.
Right. So I mean, originally my trade is a boat builder. I was boat building for 26 years. I was made redundant, so the natural thing for me to do was start on my own, which I did. All sorts of fiberglassing jobs we used to do. And one day I was asked by a guy from Redditch, could I make him a pond?
Right.
And that's the point at which it all started. I was kind of, well, what do you want? What sort of pond do you want? He said, I just want like a square box, 8 foot long by 5 foot wide or whatever it was at the time. And so I said, yeah, I'll make you it. I gave him a price. He was happy. We built it him.
Wow.
And he loved it.
Yeah.
So I sort of thought, oh, there's there might be a bit of a marketplace here for it. So I took photographs of his pond. I put them on eBay. And within 2 hours, boom, another one had sold. So it was just a knock-on effect from that, really. We had a little workshop at the time. When I say little, probably as big as this office.
Right, okay.
Or twice as big as this office. And we just progressed. Little bespoke ponds we used to make. And then I'd got my eye on a premises in Stourport-on-Severn, which is probably 10 miles away from where the old unit was, not far from my home. And we waited nearly 12 months for that, and eventually got the green light, and we moved in there. And that's at that point then I thought, well, really, that's what I do. I'm a mould maker, so I'm going to make some proper moulds for some tanks.
Yeah.
So we started with the 750 and spent, good two and a half months making the plug, the pattern for it.
Yeah.
And then making the mould and the first off, and then promoting it, and eventually we just got okay, we've done the 750 now, let's do the 500, the 300.
Yeah.
Progressed to the 1200, which when we started doing the shows, so people could see the products in the flesh, and it's just been a snowball from there,
I guess
really.
The products as well that you've been making have adapted over the time from just somebody's tank to something now that I guess you've been asked for different things adding on, and skimmers and inline.
That's right. So bottom drains. We started fitting standard bottom drains. Then it was aerated bottom drains. Then we're onto our own bottom drain now, which we'll talk about in a bit.
Yeah.
The way we build them, the materials we built them with, it all changed over a period of time.
Yeah.
I mean, we can build pretty much, I'll say anything. I mean, it's not absolutely anything. We do get asked for some obscure, really obscure, but we wouldn't fit out the door, let alone make.
Yeah.
But obviously, we wanted to make some bigger ponds, so that's why we started doing the 4,000, the 6,000, and now we're doing an 8,000. Those are all bolt together and keep joining them on.
Yeah.
So we developed that with the existing moulds we have. That is now getting far more popular because we can now do, sort of a 8 metre by 4 metre pond. So 8,000 gallons in a tank is a huge amount of volume of water.
Yeah.
So it's we can incorporate anything. In-wall skimmers, the standard skimmers that we use. We set up the returns exactly where the customer requires them. If the customer doesn't know where they want them, then we can advise them where, where because obviously we do hundreds of these ponds. We see where the professionals set it all up, and we can advise accordingly. There's lots of little details in the ponds, I suppose, that people don't realise when they're looking to buy that we can do. The direction of the drain, for one, so you don't have to have the drain going out the back of the pond. It can go either to the left, to the right, even to the front if it's going up, above a decking boards. So the pipe work can pass below. So there's we do try to get the pond exactly as the customer wants it.
And I think with there might be some people who are watching who have built their own pond and then are thinking, this is a lot of overkill, you don't need this. But then this product's not necessarily aimed at those people, is it?
No.
This product's aimed at people that, know what they want and or would like you to build something for them which does everything for them, and it can arrive hassle-free and be delivered.
Exactly. So, the customer base is so widespread. Take our Integra for instance. I mean, the Integra is, yes, it's expensive, but there's a lot of equipment in there. We've had people who know nothing about koi buy them, and we've had people that are time-served koi keepers that just want an easy life. They don't want to be having the hassle of having to build another koi system up. So it's all pro-rata to what the customer really wants from it.
And the Integra then, that's a relatively new product, or one of the newer ones.
Yeah, we've been doing it for a couple of years now, but they're bespoke builds, so we can build the Integra. We have a standard sort of set size, which is 2,000 gallons with the filtration room, which makes the pond sort of 5.5 meters long. So it has a single setup for that. But then we can do any pond as an Integra, but the smaller the pond, obviously, the higher the cost, and it doesn't make sort of logical sense to build an Integra and one of our 750s, for instance. So, I think it's there's a good starting point of around about 2,000 gallons for an Integra.
Yeah, and you've got some new exciting products coming as well. I mean, you've already announced on Facebook the new Halo.
Yeah, so we've got the Halo, which is that's a beautiful pond. Not everybody wants round, but then not we do get asked quite a lot for it, so we thought we'd go and bite the bullet and give it a go.
Sounds like it's been quite a time-worthy thing for you to put in to create a round mould. It's I mean, creating a square mould or an oblong mould is a damn sight easier than a round one. Getting a round one and getting it right, with all the angles and the relief, because obviously everything that's made on a mould has to have a certain amount of relief, and the finish and the window frame. It's all more intense work than a standard, line flat surfaces. But we've got some great products coming. Exciting.
I won't say any too much now, but
no, we were speaking beforehand. I was saying, "Come on, Alan, we can have some exciting." I think you're obviously extremely busy at the minute with the products you got at the minute, but you are trying to innovate and bring new.
Yeah, I mean that's basically. I mean, I enjoy the development side of the business. I can't do it all the time though. I've got to be I've got to be here in an office. I've got to be in production. I've got to, deliveries sometimes. There's lots of different aspects to the business that I need to be a part of. So it's not like I can just devote all my time to development. I wish I could, because I do it. I enjoy doing that.
So what's this one then?
So this is our 2000, the Easy 2000. Probably one of our most popular ponds.
Yeah.
Nice size, 2,000 gallons. Nice big window. And this particular one has twin storm drains, but most of the time they're singles.
Yeah.
Depending on what filtration the customer's going to be using,
And you can see like the bottom is chamfered into the centre, isn't it?
Yeah, everything's benched down to the bottom drains.
And you've got skimmer built in inline
Yeah, so
returns as well.
that's the OR's aqua skim. Some people don't like those because obviously it's something for the koi to damage themselves on, which is a fair point. But we can fit in wall skimmers. It's just a little bit more work involved. Obviously, cost goes up a little bit. But yeah, so as you can see, the returns there, they're customer spec'd.
Yeah.
But we can put what you want where you want it.
And if, as you were referencing beforehand as well, if the customer's filter house is on the left of the tank or the right of the tank or the back of the tank,
Correct, yeah.
the pipe work from the bottom drains can be angled in the right direction.
Yeah. On this particular model, both pipes are going straight out the back.
Yeah.
But we do also do it so that the pipe is on a 45. This end one would be on a 45 and travelling to that end. That one would be straight. So all the pipe work comes out of one end of the pond.
Yeah. But I think, in terms of the actual finish that you get on these moulded tanks is unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, it's so smooth.
It is a nice finish, and obviously the argument is it's going to be covered in algae soon. But the point is over time, say in 2 to 3 years' time, if you decide you want to upgrade the pond, you want something bigger, or you want to downgrade, for instance, and you want to then sell the Easy Pond, this will clean up back to pretty much this level. With a bit of hard work getting in there and scrubbing and cleaning, but and it's a saleable item again.
Yeah, doesn't lose its value, does it?
Not really.
It's really awesome. And then you're on to one of the other thing as well that I was going to mention is the installation of the glass.
Yeah.
For me, that was such a big headache.
Yeah.
Getting the glass off the trailer and, moving it into the window and getting my whole entire family around to lift.
Yeah, obviously we've got professional sucker equipment, to lift the glass, and we use the forklift to lower the panes of glass in. So it's all done safely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've fitted some, back in the early days, obviously before we had all this equipment, it was, a bit of hard work. Many people around one piece of glass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is a 3 drain system with a different skimmer on this one as well.
Yes, yeah. So the twin Oase Profi skims on this. Again, customer spec'd.
Oh yeah, there's one on the other side as well.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. Yeah.
The 2 large holes there, which will have 4-inch pressure returns put in there. Those for a return from a backy shower. And then the 4 2-inch returns, they're all being installed today. So this is being cleaned up and delivered this Saturday coming.
Wow. It's really
all a bit dusty at the moment.
Yeah, well, it's to be expected, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I do like these small tanks. I just got to convince the wife to allow me to have one. Oh, this one's a unique one as well because this
is the split. This is a 500i. There's no access to the side of the house or back of the house to get it in, so this is going to go through the house.
So this is to get it essentially through your garden gate.
Pretty much.
This width.
I mean, because it's got the storm bottom drain, it's not split in the centre, so it's offset split, but that's still the within the limit to get it through to where it's got to go to.
And so these are welded together with silicone essentially.
Yeah, so we use the MS300.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So that's bolted together and the sealant, and we haven't had one fail yet.
That's awesome.
And we put the 4000 and the 6000 together with that as well.
Yeah, that's amazing. And then, do you want to talk about this little tank as well? Something a little bit more bespoke, isn't it?
Yeah, it's this is our little Easy Compact. So it's got the OR's pressure filter in there. But what we've actually done is just put it all together for the customer, including the air pump and everything. This has a nice lid on top, switch box on it, so you've got everything that just couples up nice and easily. It doesn't have to be at a certain height. You can just literally sit next to the pond, connect it up and put the water in. And
plug and play, isn't it?
Yeah.
Essentially.
It's not for everybody. It's obviously you're not going to keep koi with that filter. Temporarily maybe for a
quarantine
for a small
system
time.
or something like that.
that's yeah, it's mainly for decorative goldfish ponds, you know.
Yeah. And you've got more of a shallow pond here as well.
Yes, that's the little 300. That's got a storm drain in it.
Yeah.
These are ideal for shop use really, or you know, just for quarantine or a temporary vat if you need one.
Yeah.
But they have been set up as, you know, little setup ponds with a couple of koi in.
Yeah. No, it's lovely.
This is a new product. Well, it's an upgraded product. This is the upgraded 600i.
Yeah.
A lot of people already know of the 600i.
So what's upgraded on this then from the original?
Yeah, so the actual combing around the edge is now the same as the 2000. So it's a nice chunky combing. So it makes it easier then to install jump guards.
Ah, I see. Okay.
And it just gives it a nicer finish. And obviously we've installed a window frame. So you've got a window reveal, so that the cladding is much easier. It's one of the things with the 600, which that's an old 600 over there. You've got the raw edge.
Yes, I see. So there's no ledge
when the glass goes in here, you've got the raw edge here, and then when you start to clad it, you've got to then worry about the reveal around the glass window. Whereas on that, it's all sorted for you.
Amazing. And then the bigger tanks are out here with one humongous tank. Yeah, look at the size.
That there is a 2000. So that's the same as that one.
Same as the
there.
first one,
just
yeah.
upside down. Again, this is a twin drain setup. You can see how we've installed the storm drain at a 45-degree angle.
Yeah, for the pipe work.
So that pipe work will pass through there, go through that leg, and then both pipes will be protruding at the end.
Right. Yeah, that takes a lot of headache out, lining all of this up yourself. Little details, isn't it?
Yeah. I think this one's got an end window, I believe. Yes, yeah. So you've got them on this one. There's the main window there.
Oh, okay.
And then we've got an end window as well.
Awesome.
And then this one here is the rear section of an 8000. So there's 8 meters long, 4 meters wide.
Wow.
Four sections.
So this is one of 4 pieces that's essentially going to glue together.
Yeah.
Wow. That is going to be some pond.
Oh yes.
Some pond.
Yeah.
So you can see on this side with the smooth finish, these are where the tanks are going to connect together in 4
right, yeah.
pieces.
So that flange there, obviously this is trimmed back slightly.
Yeah.
But the next section I'll take you in and show you the next section. But the next section there has a mirror image of that flange. And then these two go together. It's all lined up, clamped, and then drilled, bolted. So everything lines up on the inside. And then the next section is same again.
That's amazing.
This is where the action
So this is
in
part 2 of 4.
So this is the spray booth. This is the second section for the 8000.
Yeah.
Each section has a storm drain installed in it. So we've got 2 of these flange systems. So we'll make another identical section to this, which will then sit next to this one.
Yeah.
Before we make the actual final section, which will be the front.
Yeah.
With the window in it.
So this is obviously before it's finished. This is midway through the process.
Yeah. So we're about halfway through the process on this one.
Yeah.
Well, about a third actually, with the amount of work that goes into it, because this is just the first layer. Second layer goes on this afternoon, which is a second spray. That gets left to cure. Then the final part then is putting our honeycomb sheet on, which also acts as insulation.
Right, okay.
Then it goes over into the wood shop and gets framed up. Exactly what you see there.
Right, so this is a step further on in the process.
Yeah, so this is now, it's come from there into here, all the timber framework is all built for it to predetermined measurements.
Yeah.
And then everything's glued on, and then all the fiberglass is hand laid then, so we don't spray this is all done by hand. So a few hours later you end up like that. That gets left now to cure for 24 hours.
And the timber in here is completely sealed, isn't it?
Yeah, so everything's resin bound and encapsulated in. Any holes we put into the timber is always treated and sealed, so there's nothing exposed.
Yeah. Everything is thought about. I've got no questions. It's just a case of like, you see everything is thought of, but I guess it's kind of going through the process of building these things so many times that you think of everything.
Yeah, I mean, there's always an element of development as you're going along. You know, we have changed things over the years. The amount of strength something needs. You know, you might find that like these sections here, we put more fiberglass along a couple of these sections being on the longer length. And you get to know where the strength needs to be.
Yeah. It's really awesome. But I think the overall finish that comes in the end, you know, circling back to those first tanks we saw, it's just amazing, isn't it? Do you get much people requesting different colour finishes on the fiberglass, or?
No, I mean 95%, no, probably more, 97% of our tanks are all black.
Yeah.
Mainly, I mean, shop use, they like to have blue.
Yeah.
Occasionally, marine use will have white. So we do some of the 300s we do in white. Done the odd green one, but very rarely. But most of them are black.
Amazing. So we'll have a quick look at the storm drain.
Yeah, sure,
no
problem.
Up close in detail.
Yeah.
So this is your new baby then,
This
essentially.
is a little baby, yeah.
So this was born
out of frustration, that was.
Baby born out of frustration. So do you want to give people some background?
Yeah. So we fitted the spin drifter drain regularly. You know, sort of, I suppose 7 out of 10 ponds we used to produce had spin drifters in, and then during the COVID period things went slightly mad, as you know. I think everybody was building a pond, so we couldn't, as a manufacturer of ponds that required an aerated bottom drain, we were sort of waiting around for a long time to get an order of 5 or 10 spin drifters, so we'd have all the ponds sat out there on the factory floor waiting for the spin drifter, which was no good to us whatsoever. I sort of, I'd been thinking about how to develop a better bottom drain anyway, because there's a few issues with the current what was on the market. So I thought, that's it, I'll set about it.
Yeah.
And we kind of just ironed out all the issues, what I believe were the issues with aerated drains.
So if you were speaking to someone who was building their own pond, for example, and they were looking at purchasing a bottom drain, what would you say is the main thing that sets this aside from other products, other than it being available?
Yeah, well, you're not going to have to go out and buy a wetsuit and some diving gear to go and put it right. So that's one of the biggest things.
Yeah.
Or employ the services of a pond specialist to come out and put the drain right, because at some point it's liable to break.
I try not to let personal opinion come into my interviews too many times, but I could overlay about 3 or 4 occasions where the wife is videoing me jumping into the pond and laughing at me.
It's a regular occurrence. There's no because the the current what's currently on the market, what was currently on the market, it's just a box full of parts, a stem, a dome, a lid, that all comes apart. Then you've got a direct air feed kit that doesn't even come with it as standard. You've got to buy that separately. Not everybody knows that you've got to buy that separately. So you come to do the job, where's this go, what's that? And people end up feeding feeding pipes down there and all sorts.
Yeah,
Airline. It's it's all done for you in this.
Mm-hmm.
And the age-old thing of on bottom drain air domes. What's the gap meant to be?
Mm.
Do you know what that is?
No.
Well, the general consensus throughout the koi industry is up to your knuckles.
Mm.
Up to your knuckles is not really.
No, it's
in
not
my
scientific.
Opinion, it's not a.
Not for me with my sausage fingers. No.
Well, yeah, and then you get you see it online. Somebody will ask the question, "What's the gap meant to be? What do I set the gap at?"
Mm.
And in the same thread, you're going to get people saying 10 mil, 12 mil, 18 mil, 20 mil, 25 mil. I've had people saying 30 mil, 40.
Yeah.
Some people don't know they've got to set the gap, so they go straight ahead and they glue the stem in at like that, and you've got no pull on the drain there.
Yeah. That gap is this bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're essentially allowing the water to go through.
That gap there, and that was all calculated on CAD with a 5% tolerance, so that you know that it's right for the bore of the 4-inch pressure.
Well, I've really enjoyed that. Thank you for having us. And last bit I'd like to say is obviously anyone who's watching this who's maybe considering a preform pond, reach out to you and have a chat about if there's anything bespoke or anything that they'd like to speak about. And I mean, it's not obviously the easiest place to come and visit and walk around and whatever, but there's always dealers around that stock ponds, and you can recommend places to go and visit. And I think you're visiting a couple of shows this year as well.
Yeah, we'll be doing the National in Coventry and the South East Koi Show. In September.
Amazing. And hopefully we'll get some more details on some new products when you're ready to commit to it.
It'll be. There definitely will be some new products at the shows. We've got some quite exciting things coming through, but they take time.
Amazing.
But it'll be worth the wait.
But subscribe to obviously Alan's website, and you've got a YouTube channel as well.
The YouTube channel, I am. It's difficult, as I said earlier, is trying to do everything. But we slowly will surely be updating that with more relevant and new information.
But no, it's been a good day, and for anyone watching this, obviously click like and subscribe on this video as well, keeping track with everything, and I'm sure we'll be having Ezed Pond back on the Koi Perspective at some point later this year as well.